we're good to go. StephenFRA, ladies and gentlemen, in the flesh here for the first ever interview with StephenFRA in the Creator Interview Series. He's described by some as the modern day Clint Eastwood, potentially respectable. He doesn't swear and treats others with a tremendous amount of compassion. Stephen, how are you today?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. All right, I got you zoomed in here. We're going to cut to the wide shot where it really, this whole setup can really shine. You're going to be located in multiple locations at once. There's Stephen's giant face. Perfect. All right. So, Stephen, hi, my name's Patch. It's nice to, we've hugged once before, but we met at Twitchcon.
You danced for me even, so I feel like we're very, very close. You know, just because of the private dance I got at Twitchcon.
You're welcome. You're welcome for that.
Thank you.
I didn't even make you pay.
No, you didn't. You didn't. It was awesome.
I'm a kind soul. Some say that.
Thanks for having me, man. Glad to be here.
It is a pleasure to have you. I think interviewing different people on Twitch is super important because it gives us an opportunity to get to know one another, potentially realize that there's probably more challenges that both of us and maybe even people in the chat face on a daily basis that are common and maybe not often thought about. Do you agree, like, have you been on an interview show on Twitch? Have you done something like this before?
I've only been a guest on 2 other streams before. One was Kit Boga, and then the other one was Paw Prince Retro. I think those are the only 2 streams I've ever been on. So you're number 3, man. And it's been a long time since I've been on another stream. So this is awesome. I hope to do it more.
Wow, I feel honored that I'm lucky number 3.
You were number 3.
Oh, bless my fanny pack. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make this beautiful. This is like you ever seen like Between Two Ferns or anything like that? You know,
yes, I have.
A lot of that's like, you know, at least been some kind of inspiration for me. And I'm nowhere near as talented as someone like Zach Galifianakis or Eric Andre or something like that. But boy, are they funny. I like their gig.
No, they got a pretty funny setup there.
Oh my goodness, they have 2 ferns. So Stephen, what's your favorite kind of ice cream?
My favorite kind of ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
Golly, I see people ask me this all the time because I do eat a lot of ice cream on stream. I'm trying to cut back some. But hard. I mean, honestly, growing up, my favorite was cookies and cream. That was my all-time favorite growing up as a kid. Bluebell, cookies and cream. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I usually come back to that. If I had to say a favorite flavor. But I like all kinds of ice cream though. I do try out quite a few different flavors.
Well, I mean, it's kind of wholesome that you eat ice cream after a hard day's work. I think that's a better alternative than some.
Yeah, no, that is true. I you know, either ice cream or a bowl of cereal anymore at the end of the day after making a few arrests or being out in the cold bounty hunting all day.
Sure. I love a nice cold bowl of cereal. Like a nice.
Oh yeah.
Man. What's your favorite kind of cereal then? Is that a hard question to ask too? These are like tough questions because
I've been on the Lucky Charms and Captain Crunch kick, but I've been trying to hold back because there's so much sugar in it. So I'll buy like a box every so often. Mm-hmm. Every three boxes I'll buy a box of either Lucky Charms or Captain Crunch. But the 3 boxes in between is usually just Cheerios and like blueberries. I'll try to, you know, dial it back just a little bit because it is a lot of sugar, especially at the end of the day. Try not to do that much sugar at the end of the day.
You get bouncing, kind of like a shaking kind of sensation from all the sugar.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know. It's probably more mental than anything. I never had issues too much. I mean, I live a pretty active lifestyle, so I usually don't have too much of a problem with, you know, gaining a lot of weight or anything like that. But I try to keep all my sugars. Try to get all my sugars at the beginning half the day rather than the latter half the day. But no, it's good.
Because you have an incredible physique. I would say when we hugged at TwitchCon, I noticed that your back muscles are strong. You seem to stand in a very strong way. And I mean, do you do any kind of exercise or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. I do work out pretty regularly, usually every day. Try to do something that's physically active. Usually, at this time of year, it's usually going to the gym. And So it's just as much for my mental health as it is for my physical health. It's like there's no better way, it seems like, for me to start the day. I feel like I get so much more done when I go to start the day at the gym more than anything else. So
when do you wake up in the morning? What's a standard?
Oh my goodness, this is anymore like 10 or 11 o'clock. I try to sleep about 8 hours a day, and so I'm usually in bed by like 2 a.m. Usually my bedtime anymore. So I don't start the day very early. I would like to change that, but I'm usually out working late, right?
Yeah, no, that
after I get done hunting and I come home and I'll have home so much so much stuff I have to do in the background to kind of prep the video and take care of things on this end. So 2 a.m. is usually when you finally get to bed there.
I think that's just wonderful, Steve. And there's no need to feel any kind of guilt about staying up late and then sleeping late. You're getting a lot done. Are you a night owl? I assume
I'm a night owl at this point in time. Yeah, I'd like to be more of a morning person, but at this point in time, night owl for sure.
And you're still getting to the gym in the morning. That's why I'd asked what time you wake up, because usually, like, if you can get to the gym in the morning when you wake up, then, like you said, the day does tend to be. I also find that it's a better day, especially if you do legs. Especially if you do those legs. That's a little squat action, maybe some deadlifting. Get in there real deep.
Get that high, and you're all set.
Can I take you somewhere really quickly on our stream? Because
sure.
It's an example of your exercise, and I think it's just beautiful. You, sir, so I'm married, and my wife watched this clip, and she thought it was a picture at first. It's you shooting the barrel of all the, and she was like, "Damn, he's got a nice ass." And I was like, well, yes, and he works out very hard for that butt, and so I thought I'd.
That was completely 100% planned, of course.
Sure. I mean, you have a tight butt.
I appreciate that.
Yes. I mean, listen, compliments are so few and far between in this lifetime. Learning to accept them is a large part of this,
I appreciate that. No, I do. I don't skip leg day. Let me put it that way.
Damn straight you don't. So you're going to, it's 7 days a week though that you're going to the gym?
Usually. So if I'm not lifting every day,
right,
on my off days, I make a point of either kickboxing, rock climbing, or going on a run. So if I'm not in the gym, I'm doing one of those three things just to make sure I'm staying physically active. And every once in a while, I have a rest day if I feel like super sore. But I'll really cut back on what I eat, whatnot, to account for that. So anyhow.
So the rock climbing, that's always been a thing. That's cool. You're doing a lot of different types of exercise. I wish I did more of that. So do you have any tips to somebody looking to get into exercise? We've had a lot of people come through here who have shown concern about going to the gym and specifically what others will think of them. Do you have any kind of like confidence tips?
Well, I mean, first things I always ask people, because I'm not a trainer, I'm not a nutritionist, or like that. One thing I always ask quite a few people first when they ask me what to do in the gym. It's like, well, what are you trying to do first? There's a lot of different kinds of fitness, if you will. I mean, there's people go work out for cross training, for bodybuilding, for powerlifting, for just general health, or because they're trying to lose weight, or some combination thereof. And I think it's very important to establish, what goal you have for why you want to go to the gym. Be very, very clear and specific with that, and that kind of helps. I don't know. I think it's a question a lot of people haven't even really asked themselves. I think when you can finally get to the point where you ask yourself that question, and it just keeps you focused, and everything else becomes white noise. Other people in the gym, they're a lot more fit than you. It's white noise. It's in the background. You're focused on your goal. You're very specific what you're trying to achieve. And I think that's what's really important about going to the gym is having that set up before you walk in there.
Is that a life kind of lesson as well, though, Stephen? It kind of seems like is there a larger theme to that, and the idea of having your why or having your goal very clearly set?
I would say so. I mean, I guess I never thought of it that way, but I do try to be very, I actually, growing up, was extremely goal oriented and very, very, goal focused, and was very, very, I was in it for the long run, whether it was saving money for something specific that might take a year or two to save money up for, like my first car or my education, or, all the different all the different martial arts I did and what I was focused on each one of those things. I was, usually very specific about what I wanted to do, and and really trying to be very, very conscious of why I want to do it. So, if you don't have a good reason to do something, I think it decreases the utility you're going to get out of it at the end of the day, if you don't have a good why. And so, that's always, and your why could be simple as something as, well, I enjoy doing it. And it's like, well, if you enjoy doing it, then, don't let somebody else take that away from you. Why would someone's opinion of that, deter you from enjoying something that you do or whatever. But again, just being very specific about that, and I think is important, and really a big part of your personal development too.
I think that's probably one of the more poignant pieces of advice one of the more poignant pieces of advice that I've received that I've heard in a long time, because it kind of gets at the heart of a lot of different points. Like, for example, so why are you a bounty hunter?
Yeah, so a lot of people, that's one of the most commonly asked questions I get in my channel is like, why are you bounty hunting? How did you get started in this?
Oh, thanks.
And and again, bounty hunting was just a means to an end. It's just something that people ask what my favorite aspect of bounty hunting is. And it's like, one, because I could do it and be self-employed. And it was very, very important to me when I kind of started getting into this whole new industry that, this was just a means to an end. I was only planning on being a bounty hunter or bondsman for like 6 months, and I was working on another business, and I was wanting to be self-employed. That was the goal. And I literally, a friend of mine, Cody, had gotten into it, and he'd offered me, it's like, hey, there's a position open. You want to try this? I'm like, okay, well, I'll try it. To contract with this company, and I kind of went from there. But that is the only reason I fell into this. I have a degree in accounting, and my background is in transportation and logistics, and did work that for 5 years, and only in the past 2.5 years, 3 years, that have I really done the bonding. So my current employment tool is nothing really similar to what I used to do. It's a very, very, very big jump from what I used to do, and but then again, I know it's very, very weird for people to see that, because they've only known me since I started doing this. But yeah, that is really, and that's why I've always told people too. It's like, I hope not to do this forever. I mean, I do miss it. I would probably miss it. I do enjoy it, but it's not something I hope to do for the rest of my life. But it might be something I do every once in a while. Just keep my license active, and go arrest somebody every once in a while, just to scratch that itch when I have it.
I mean, it's one of the two places in the world that you can do it, right? Like, it's being a bounty hunter is, some people might in the United States see you doing this and think it's a commonplace thing everywhere else, but it's really not.
Right. No, it is. I mean, in fact, before I ever got into it, I thought it was something, I didn't think it was real. I thought it was fake. I thought, I've never watched Dog the Bounty Hunter to that point. I still haven't watched Dog the Bounty Hunter. I just never got into it, whatever, but I didn't know how it worked. I never been in trouble. I never really hung around people that were in trouble, so I didn't know how the bond system and bail system worked. And yeah, it is a very, very, very unique industry for sure. And there's only 2 countries in the world that have a bond bail system like we do. So U.S. and the Philippines, and but even in the United States, it's not. I mean, Kansas City is, we have a couple. Let's see, we have about 700,000. I think is the population of just Kansas City alone, not including the suburbans area and whatnot. I mean, it's not a small city, and I'm probably one of 5 or 6 full-time hunters, if you will. And there's just not very many of us out there. So, but no, I feel privileged to, at least have the experience I have to do this for a while anyway.
So if somebody wants to carry a gun around in general, whether they be bounty hunter or not, do you have kind of some advice for them or insight for kind of, like, if you were to, if you had a gun, because you say you weren't privy to kind of the bounty hunter lifestyle before. I imagine, did you ever shoot a gun before that? Like, was that something that you?
Yes. So guns and firearms were a big hobby of mine before I ever got to bonding. And I had already had, before I ever got into the bonding thing, I'd had, combat trauma training. I've been through pistol courses, rifle courses, CQB courses. I had one of my good friends of mine is, is an instructor, and is, police officer, been in the military, whatnot. He's taught me 90% of everything I know about combat shooting. I've already been shooting with police guys, the SWAT guys, and military guys. So this was all before I ever thought of becoming a bondsman, or even knew what a bondsman was. So I had all these. So in a lot of ways, the bounty hunting kind of thing really did cater to a lot of interests I already had, because it did involve firearms and a lot of gear that I already was accustomed to wearing and all that kind of thing. But as far as what I would tell, when people, what would be good advice for somebody who's wanting to carry? We do have constitutional carry now in Missouri. It's just passed this past year, which means you do not have to have a license to conceal and carry. That being said, I really think it's important for people to get training for it. That is, you have every right. I recognize personally you have every right to carry a firearm, but doesn't mean you should not treat it with a certain level of respect because of what it can do. It can inflict a lot of harm and potentially death. And so it's one of those things where we need to get training on those, need to be safe with them. And unfortunately, in the civilian world, there's just not a lot of that. And so you kind of have to really seek that out as civilians. And so that's one of the things I try. I really would like my channel to try to bring attention to and focus more on, and kind of use me as the dummy of kind of my journey and becoming more proficient with my firearm, becoming more responsible with it by becoming more, becoming more knowledgeable about how to use it and be safe with it, all that kind of thing.
Do you could you give me a if you were to teach a dum-dum about how to decide, I guess you would probably say, why are you going to buy a gun, right? Because that was your advice to working out. So I'd venture to guess there's got to be a why to buy a gun, right?
Sure.
Is that the first step?
Yeah, and there's people that, there's let me put it this way, there's if people, I wouldn't feel comfortable training with somebody that says, I just want to carry guns. I think it's cool. It's no, you should have a certain level of maturity to carry a firearm. Now, if it's to protect yourself and protect others, or which is the general consensus I hear from people, then that to me is a respectable reason to want to train. It's just like doing martial arts. And so to me, I've been doing martial arts since I was about 4 years old, and I think people approach martial arts for different reasons, whatnot, but a lot of people approach martial arts because they want to be able to defend themselves and defend other people, and I think that's a worthwhile goal, and definitely a solid reason for obtaining training on how to defend yourself, whether that's with with empty hands or a firearm. I think that's definitely a good reason to get started in it.
So a desire for self-defense.
Yeah.
So can I tell you a story, a hypothetical story that definitely has not happened to me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this has never happened to me though. Okay. All right, this is hypothetical. So I was driving down the street and I was going kind of slow, and some crazy teens pulled up behind me. Or this is a story though. This didn't happen. And they pulled up and they were flashing their lights and stuff. And so I stopped my car and I said, "Excuse me, is there some kind of a problem?" And they pulled up next to me real fast. And they said, "I'm going to kick your ass. What, are you afraid to go slow? I'm going to kick your ass, you pussy." And then spit on my car and sped away. So if someone did that to you, how would you react? And remember, this is hypothetical, so I don't know what happened. But I'll just tell you, I'm going to ask you, what would you do if that happened?
I'd probably say, man, that guy's having a bad day. At that point, there's really, I try to, I can't say that I would react that way, but I would hope I would not overreact. Most people that act in that behavior, and I see this a lot with a lot of people that I try to arrest, they're very emotional themselves, and what makes them feel validated in their emotional state is if you respond emotionally. And so I try not to get riled up by people that try to do that. And obviously someone that's spitting in your car and threatening you and all that kind of stuff is trying to get you emotionally riled up. So, I think unless there's some physical harm that's imminent potentially, there's no right sense to get emotionally riled up about that. Now, that might not mean that I might, take my shirt off my gun just in case things get a little crazy, or, maybe take off my seatbelt in order to give you a little more mobility, but I'm not gonna escalate the situation. I'm gonna try to de-escalate the situation by not being emotionally engaged, not compromising my common sense and objectivity of the situation, and let them go on by.
How do you stay cool?
How do you stay cool? Man, You know, that's tough. I mean, I will say, and me and Corey have talked about this quite a bit. We've talked about this on stream, where, you know, if you if I like very, very quickly, like I've worked with Corey for quite a bit, we can tell when each other's off. And, you know, if he's having an off day or I'm having an off day, you know, I think we're both pretty honest about it's like, hey, not cool for going out today, or hey, did not sleep enough. Let's not do that, because I think it's very, very important to be in a very, let me try to say a zen state, if you will, before you even go out. You know, otherwise you're kind of asking for it. You're that much more subjective to you know, people trying to ride you like emotionally and all that kind of thing if you're already kind of stressed or anything like that. So I think one of the things you have to do is be just not to be stressed. And how not to be stressed? Well, I don't know. That's another long conversation. I mean, I like I said, there's some things I do to try to mitigate stress and take that things in check. But
well, you're going to the gym every day.
Stressed, I do tend to react emotionally. I'm not perfect. Believe me, I have said things or acted in ways that aren't becoming of a cool, calm character for sure. But I hope I can keep myself in control for the most part.
I mean, you can't stay cool every day, like you're saying. Not every day can be perfect, or
right. Yeah, and I think that's okay. You just got to be able to recognize it, and if you can recognize it, that's like, you know what, having a bad day, and you know, and I think it's one of those things where if it's okay if you can recognize it, it's okay. You know, we're all human, and but I think one of the first steps of becoming better people and better in general is you first have to see where you're wrong and how. And see your faults. You know, if you can't ever recognize your faults or where you're wrong, you're never going to get past that. And it's a very humbling place to be. But at the same time, it should, you know, every time you come across a fault or an imperfection in yourself or your character, or whatnot, it's also an opportunity to become better than what you are. If you can recognize it, if you can admit it, if you can acknowledge it.
Sounds like you've done some think about mindfulness. May I ask you if you've done any like reading on that, or do you have like any kind of example to point to when it comes to having that level of self-awareness?
No, I don't know if I've read that necessarily anywhere. Other than, you know, I grew up in a Christian household and I grew up going to church and this, that, and the other. But you know, I really there's a lot of things in that you know, I would say are very, very similar. You know, there's you know, I like the word, like, so one thing, like, so my English, the second language I took in high school is actually Greek, biblical Greek, so I could read the Bible in its original language. And, you know, there's a lot of religious words that get thrown around and whatnot that have different meaning in the original meaning than they do in today's, you know, Christianity religion. And like one of the words like repent, and like that's one of the things that I think of when it's when you think of, you know, self-awareness, whatnot. Repent literally means to look at your life in a new light or in a new way. That's all that means. And I think, you know, when we have those convictions or those things that come up that, you know, there's a light kind of showing you, hey, you goofed up here, or hey, you need to work on this, or, you know, hey, you need to let this go, or whatnot. I think it's like, again, just seeing it and acknowledging it. There's nothing to do about it, but it's just acknowledge it and be humble enough to accept it. And not fight it and not be resentful when those things come to light. So I guess maybe that's where I got that, where that's come from.
Mm-hmm. I'd never known that repent meant that. That's
yeah.
Try to think of some things in a different way. Wow.
Yeah, basically to reevaluate or to see things differently. Is kind of what that word means in Greek. So.
Repent. Do you mind if I ask you if you still have any kind of faith or anything like that?
Absolutely. I just I don't go to any kind of corporate church anymore. Up till about I'll say about 2-3 years ago. But I know that's the thing. I think I don't tout very, very I would say actively that I'm a Christian per se, because one, a Christian was actually never a term that Jesus or any of his followers necessarily used. That's what actually what the world called them. They called them people of the way. There was no term for them. But that being said, I think when I look at Jesus' message for a lot of things, like everything he was teaching was anti-religion, was non-religious, and hence why the religious people of the day killed him. And so, so that's one of the things where I would say yes, I'm a Christian, but not in the religious sense, if that makes any sense. So,
do you believe in the potential teaching without the moniker of the church being kind of stamped on your head?
Yeah. So yeah, especially because honestly, we didn't have a corporate church until Constantine made Christianity the state religion in Rome in 400 or 500 A.D. Up to that point, Christianity was actually an underground movement. There was no priesthood, if you will. There was no hierarchical structure in the church. It was in homes. It was illegal to be a Christian back then, and so it wasn't until Constantine came in 400 or 500 A.D. and made Christianity the state religion, in which Constantine was a nut, considered himself 13th apostle. I think and he had sex with his sister or something like that. Just he was completely crazy. Not to say that it's validate some things he did, because we did have that we didn't have the Bible until that point. And then Martin Luther came around, and the 1300s and whatnot, and we had Protestantism, but unfortunately we went from Catholicism to Lutheranism, Protestantism, but we had kept a lot of the same function and form and all that kind of thing. But we never got back to what Christianity looked like back in the day, and I think that's really important to look at before man got in the way and kind of mucked it up a bit.
So is that why you don't curse and stuff? Like, I know you famously don't curse, or you try not to on stream.
So I do curse at times. All right. I'm sure.
Stephen, no!
Probably
you curse?
Whatnot. Yeah. And not just in reading.
Oh!
Of other
Do you even like ice cream?
Huh?
Do you even like ice cream, Stephen?
Yeah, no, I like ice cream. I've never said I don't curse.
Do you actually have a nice butt, or is it an implant?
Yeah, other people have told me, I said, why don't you curse? And it's like, I never said I don't curse. I just don't curse very often. I've taught literally thousands of kids martial arts, and I used to teach a lot of after-school karate programs and whatnot. And one thing that I started to just kind of want to be very, very cognizant of is my tongue, because everyone knows it's like when you start cursing, things happen and they just come out, and there's words that you get used to saying and thinking all the time. And before you know it, it's really, really hard to control your reaction to certain things. And so I didn't want something to slip when I was talking to kids. And so, so I made up funny terms when I was teaching, karate classes or judo classes or anything like that. And, things that, might be substitute some curse words. But yeah, I think that's kind of when that started. And then, after a while, it's like, I like not having, I like having a little more control of my tongue. And that being said, I think even some of my fake curse words go a little too far sometimes. I don't want to even be reactionary when I say those things. But yeah, I think that's where a lot of that came from, though, is just in teaching kids. I just want to be very conscious of how I say, because I do have I've been an instructor for many years in the martial arts, and there's a lot of kids that look up to me or have looked at me in the past, and so I just want to be really conduct myself with as much as possible the utmost character and morality, and that's just, I think, not cursing is just kind of a small way to maybe reflect that a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of funny. That's a very, very defining feature of my stream, according to some people. So
yeah, it's important because they can put it up on their TV and their kids can watch, and they don't feel like they're getting offended.
Yeah, I guess so. Hopefully, most of the time anyway.
Well, I mean, you could shoot somebody, but that's not as bad as saying the F word.
Yeah, right.
Any of the F words. I don't know what anyone's thinking. I don't want to try to make enemy. I meant fuck. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that, Stephen. My bad. Not in your presence.
Brother.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to make anyone upset. I don't want to do that. But goodness, you do wonderfully not using those words. And I would say that it is defining in your stream. Do you think that maybe, Stephen, this whole streaming thing is something that you would consider doing long term instead of bounty hunting if you ever had the opportunity? Or do you like it enough?
Yeah. So I mean, at the same time, I've never looked at streaming as like, hey, I didn't wake up and say I want to be a live streamer or I want to be on Twitch.
Only a crazy person would do that, and I
guess so. And I say it this A, you know, the whole Twitch thing. I mean, God has really thrown that in my lap. It kind of just started happening, and I was like, okay, well, let's see where this goes on. And I tell people all the time. I mean, if you ask people that were watching way back when I started, I think in my 15th month of streaming. Like the first month or two, I was like, guys, this stream's going to get banned. I'm telling you, we're going to get banned. Like, so, you know, nice knowing you, but it's been fun. But any day now, we will get banned. And then 1 month goes by, and then 2 months, and then 3 months, and then 4 months. And I'm like, and we're going to get banned. It's going to happen. It's got to happen. And then, you know, Impulse, one of my mods, we started developing, looking at different things that we could do to help mitigate, you know, something untwitchable happening on stream. So we started with the RTMP server, which, you know, is delayed for everyone else watching, but my mods can see it ahead of time so they can mute and change scenes if something gets said or done that's not twitchable. And, you know, and so it's like, well, I guess this might work out. And, you know, so it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. And it's, you know, getting to know all the people I've gotten to know through it is really the cool thing, especially my mods. You know, I spend a lot of time with my mods. My mods spend a lot of time volunteering for the channel. There's, you know, and then also other Twitch streamers. You know, going to Twitchcon was one of the coolest social experiences I've ever had. And being able to meet people like you that you see on stream all the time, and then be able to engage with, you know, people in person that you know, up to that point just been engaged with behind a computer monitor. And as far as something I would do in long term, yeah, I'm already kind of looking at that. You know, if potentially I stop bounty hunting, that's why I try to introduce some other content or, you know, just other aspects of my life that I already do and start streaming those things. And I would love to continue it and keep it up. But at the same time, I don't want to look at Twitch as a job. I want to look at it as something I enjoy and have fun with.
Sure.
And so, yeah. But yeah.
But it can be a job. It can be a job. And you could totally make it one if you you know, you could do Stephen's cooking every day. You could do, you know, workout streams where you teach people to get nice butts on the internet. You could teach that. You could, you know, if your things got really desperate, you go on Chatterbait. I'm sure you've heard of that. You could put a vibrating instrument anywhere in your body, and people will pay you tips to have it vibrate in that location. You can put it up your nose and see how that feels.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. That's pretty crazy.
Well, not maybe. Maybe you could be an innovator in that way. Like you could put it. You could be the first to put it up your nose. People might like it. You never know. So, what if you were to make a meal? So, ready? Okay, it's Tuesday evening. You've got to get out on a hunt, and you don't have that many different things in your fridge. You need to make one meal, and you need to make it fast because you got to get out there, but you got to have plenty of energy. You get to make one meal and then bring one snack with you for the hunt for later. So you get to, you know, you run out the door and you have maybe limited time, hour or so. What kind of meal are you gonna make and what snack are you gonna bring with you?
Yeah, bacon and eggs and toast. Yeah, that's a high protein, high fat meal, and or bacon, eggs, and avocado toast. And that will last for quite a while. And as far as the snack, I actually just take BCAAs powder. And throw that in the shaker bottle, and between that and the meal, I'm good to go for hours.
What's a BCA? What's that?
Branched chain amino acids.
What
helps with protein synthesis, and it will suppress your appetite a little bit, and it's also for recovery for muscles and whatnot. And some people said sunflower seeds. I always have sunflower seeds in my vehicle, so you know I do have something to snack on at any point in time. I do get too hungry.
If you could get sponsored by Davidson's sunflowers, would you? That'd be a great sponsorship, wouldn't it?
That would be a great sponsor. I don't think I've ever seen anybody get sponsored by
No, you could be the first.
You know, maybe they, you know, supply me with a year's supply of sunflower seeds. That'd be
damn straight they will.
Very raw tongue, let me tell you.
You could send them to viewers.
There you go.
Do you have a favorite like?
Go do some giveaways.
Exactly! ! Davidson's for more information. No, if you is there a flavor of sunflower seed you like, or is it just the plain?
Peppers,
cracked pepper.
Yeah, but man, you can only have so many of those before your tongue is your mouth is raw. Yeah. So, but yeah, cracked pepper is my favorite at the moment.
You have a lot of tongue sensitivity, Stephen.
Tongue sensitivity. Well, I mean, I eat a lot of sunflower seeds. I mean, I know it's disgusting, but you know, I usually keep a Powerade bottle or some kind of empty water bottle that's just full of sunflower seeds, and I fill up those suckers quick. So it's a lot of salt.
Oh yeah, I mean and salt's not good for your heart or your arteries or anything like that. I don't know, your veins.
Yeah, that's
Something
why I
about that.
salt, bacon, and eggs in the morning. So I figure I can make up for it with the sunflower seeds.
So did you know that we had those pigs and we made them into food? And so I've been eating bacon, fresh bacon that I hand massaged myself. So I hand, because we had the 3 pigs, I massaged the pigs, their bellies. He would roll over on his back and I would rub his belly and he would be like, "Rah, rah, rah." They're basically like dogs but smarter.
Wow.
But they're really nice, they're friendly. Hand massage the bacon.
Man, you're giving me some ideas. You might have to give me a few pigs.
I'm telling you, dude, it is great. And we have meat, like we bought half of a cow and we had 3 pigs, and we will have meat for about 2 years. So, and we eat like pork maybe twice a week and beef once a week or so, and then try to do like some vegetarian stuff and some fish and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to split that kind of. You can't just eat all the pork at once. Like if you eat bacon every day, Stephen, something's going to be up with your heart. You got to be careful, okay?
I'm getting ready to go checked out because I've had a lot of bacon the past month and a half. Like I kind of got addicted. Like Costco's got this extra thick cut bacon.
Oh, you're a Costco boy!
Oh my gosh! I mean, I eat every other day, but they got this extra thick. And it's not bacon; it's bacon steaks. Like is what they have these cut up into. And oh my gosh! I mean. It's 4 strips of bacon and 4 eggs and 4 pieces of toast like every day. I mean, that's what I eat usually for my first meal after I work out.
God, I love you, Steven. He's a Costco boy. He likes bacon. Oh my God. He shoots guns. He works out. He eats ice cream. He streams on Twitch. He does bounty hunting, which is like, man. So when you do bounty hunting, you kick ass. Like, that could be a TV show. I imagine. Like, has Discovery approached you yet? Been like, hey, Steven, you want to get a show on Discovery or Netflix?
I don't know if it's Discovery, but someone did reach out to me at one point, and I declined. But because again, the reason that would be when you kind of do that, you kind of sign over rights to your own content. At that point, I mean, you're an employee. And that, of course, is not conducive to what I wanted to do,
right?
With whole bounty hunting to begin with, but yeah, that would be a one heck of a shift for sure to do that on TV.
I mean, I'm sure you could figure out a way to do it and even just produce your own stuff. Like, dude, that your stuff is insane. I got contacts. I'll hook you up. No, I'm kidding. I mean, whatever. No, I don't. Anyway, so Steven, here's the deal. There's a number of questions that I have for you. Some exciting, some very exciting, and some very, very exciting. And I've asked you a number of them about your personality, who you are, who's Steven. Is there anything else that you feel like we've missed or glossed over, or something that people generally do gloss over when they get to know you? Like, is there something that's easily missed or overlooked about you?
It's like I've never been asked that. That's a tough question. Is there anything that's ever been overlooked?
Like something that you wish people would notice more about you. Something that you feel is like, like a quality that you have that's not often seen. That's something that's like not immediately apparent about you that maybe your people that watch don't know that you wish they did.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe one thing is it is really important to me. Like when I started streaming, I didn't want the stress of trying to pretend to be something that I'm not. Because there is a pressure to try. Even without trying to if say for instance StephenFRA was a persona or character that I put on and whatnot, there would be an extra pressure to perform to that expectation and whatnot, and in the midst of all the other pressure that comes with streaming in front of thousands of people and whatnot. But it was really important to me that hey, if I was going to do this with Twitch, I was going to try to again be as sincere and as real of a person I could be, because ultimately that's what Twitch blew up with me just being me. I wasn't trying to do anything special. I wasn't trying to be anything special. I was just being me while I did this crazy job. And so at the same time, though, I think there's a lot of people that are, and I've had some close friends of mine tell me this, is that I guess I can be very intimidating in person at times to some people, and I don't. And to me, I scratch my head on that because like I hope I don't come across that way, but I hope people know that I'm very approachable. I'm not. I hope I don't think myself intimidating and like that, and so even like at Twitchcon, I think that I kind of sense that a little bit. It's like, guys, just come say, hey, I'm just a guy. I might have a crazy job, but I'm just a guy. So maybe that's one thing I wish, or hope people would tend to see more about myself.
You're just one of the you're just a human being trying to live your life and happen to have the courage to put it on the internet.
Yeah, and another thing is too is having the courage to put on the internet. It's guys. I see just and Patch can say this too. We see a camera and we see chat and we see a number of how many people are watching. We don't see people, and so it's very insulating to stream on the internet because you don't see the people that are watching. If we saw the 90 or 100 people that were watching us in real time in an audience and we were on a stage, it'd be a lot more intimidating. But we don't see that, and so it is very. I will say it is like going to Twitchcon I'm sure as it was for you, just a very, very weird experience because it's like, wait a minute, there's a lot of people here that recognize me and know who we are and this, that, and the other, and but yeah, it's all good.
You're a hero to a lot of people, I think. Well, no, like hold on, like there's a lot of people that have simple either from a maybe they're afraid to leave their home, maybe they want to work up the courage to be a police officer someday or something like that, and they're watching you and gaining inspiration. Maybe their dad's a bounty hunter and they want to get to know the job better. Like, there's any number of reasons that a kid or young adult or even, an older individual might be interested in watching what you're doing. And I think living viscerally through what you're doing is something that a lot of Twitch viewers probably do. And I think there's a lot of people in general that watch what you're doing, and there's a variety of different inspirations. Do you think about that at all when you're doing what you're doing?
Thanks.
Yeah, I've often thought about kind of again going back to the why of why I like to stream certain things that I do, and so for instance, if I start doing more rock climbing or I start doing more gun stuff or traveling or just doing kickboxing or martial arts, things like that, it's not it's not the why isn't to show hey look what I can do, but more so hey look what you can do. And that's the same thing like when I cook. It's like I'm a noob cook, believe me. So I tell people, like, if I can do it, you sure as heck can. And I really, that's, if there's one mantra I want to have of the things that I stream, it's like, hey, look what you can do, because you can go do this. For a lot of people, it's just, they just need a little bit of that push and a little bit of that encouragement to go out and do things and get out from behind the computer and go live life in another way that they haven't lived it before. So, yeah.
There's a lot of, I think, division and loneliness on Twitch, as you kind of alluded to. You and I sitting here looking at a camera, talking to a camera and chat. Do you have any kind of tips for streamers or insight for Twitch? The Twitch community. Like, there are how many millions of people stream? Like thousands. You just hit a button. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to stream on Twitch, actually, in that, like, you just hit the button, right? Like, there's a lot of other implications with trying to maybe be consistent or whatever it might be, but the act of streaming, anyone can be a streamer. So to anybody trying to stream, like, there's often a discussion about tips. You had mentioned wanting to have fun. I personally think that that's a part of it, but maybe it's more like you had kind of described. What's your why? Do you ask people their why? Like what do you ask a new streamer? What do you tell them? What tips do you give them?
I don't know if I've ever been asked for my opinion on that. As far as helping new streamers, wow. I would say your outcomes, like you kind of said already, your outcomes only get as good as your why, and I think it's more than just like, hey, I want to support, it's got to be more than, at least I think, to be sustainable and to be enjoyable. Not saying there's not people that can be successful with this mindset, but I personally think it needs to be and should be more than I just want to be paid to play video games at home. That to me is it's like, man, that's setting the bar super low. Like, that's super, super low. And I think it's like, but if it's something I think it's got to be something more than that. Whether it's bringing it could be something like fostering community around a particular genre game or particular activity or something like that, and really and the focus on the community, for instance, like that's one thing that I want to focus on. It's like, hey, I might be the content creator, but I'm just the meeting point for a bunch of other people that share the same interests and whatnot. And I think growing the community and trying to be an encouragement to a community, and ultimately at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what you do for your job, like the most meaningful thing that you can do in your life is helping other people and improving other people's, helping other people improve in some way or another. And ultimately, I think if that's where your why should be, and that can mean a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, that should be it, because that is what makes us better people when we learn to serve and help others, and that's what makes the world a better place as well. And and it could be something, and that means it could be something with gaming or sculpting or playing music or something like that. But that's your goal. That will help really fine tune and create the kind of positive environment you have for a thriving community. And at the end of the day, a thriving community is what makes a Twitch chamber successful.
So growing community, I guess it's hard to do that, right? But things like Discord, having maybe a schedule or other social media channels to post through. I know you try to make a habit of posting on your YouTube and that kind of stuff, right?
I am terrible at that. I don't post on Instagram. I have a very, 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 there's like 3 videos on my YouTube channel. My Discord is not very, very lively. I don't have a schedule. I should not be as successful as I am probably on Twitch.
But the content is awesome that you do.
The content. So I recognize that, and there's a lot of ways that I can improve, because I'm definitely not there's a lot of things that I know I could do better that I don't do very good at. But
Well, it's probably sacrificed in favor of you being able to be at your best to do your job well in a lot of cases, right? Like I would venture to guess that the reason you're not able to do those things is because you have a limited amount of time and mental space to assign to all those different tasks.
Right. So, that's the thing, is like I'm working on a whole other company during the, throughout the day, in addition to Twitch, because I don't want to look at Twitch, even though Twitch is what, pays the bills at the moment. I don't want to look at that as employment, but rather, just like a cushion to help me get to where I want to be with something else. I love streaming. I want to stream because it's a hobby and I enjoy doing it more so than, looking at it as like a job. And, so for me, it's like, it is hard for me to do some of those things and commit more time to it because I'm trying to work on other things, in addition to Twitch. But yeah, I hope that being said, I can do better. I mean, I could do a lot better. I could be better, more smart with my time, and definitely improve in a lot of ways.
If you didn't think you could be better, then you would suck. So that's why you're cool though, because you can get better all the time. The moment you think you're done, then
like there's a lot of things I can do. I know that for sure.
Like that's the really the telltale sign of a human being who desires growth. It's like, well, can I do better, or do I feel perfect about my performance? No. Yeah. I don't think anybody, right? That's so. How do you modify your behavior at all on stream? You had mentioned you just want to be the true Steven, like the real Steven, the realist real Steven. What do you change it all when you get like 2,000 people sitting there?
I tried. If there's anything that there's definitely an energy that you feed off of people in your chat, and when there's a lot of people, tuning in, and so if anything, maybe that is that might be something that changes. But no, for the most part, I really don't. I wouldn't say I changed very much on stream. Like I said, there's a certain energy level you're trying to maintain throughout your stream and whatnot. And but other than that, what you see is what you get. I try to, as much as possibly as again, sincere and as real of a person on stream as off. So,
what's the most memorable arrest that you've had on stream? I would be interested to know. You've done a lot of different cool cases. I see you come up with some really, really, really creative and cool code names. I'm always impressed by those. And so you've got these cool these people that you're chasing after. And I want to know what's the most memorable arrest you've ever had?
That is so hard. Of course, I get asked that all the time as well. You know, it's
I think it's everybody this interview. When they ask you, you can just say go watch this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So probably one of the craziest arrests, and I'm still trying to look for this video. This is probably the most memorable for several different reasons. One, it was this was, I think we codenamed her afterwards as Mighty Mouse. But basically, we got called for backup by 2 other bounty hunters. Went to the house. The doors were barricaded, and so I actually ended up sneaking. I actually climbed like off the deck and then like got in through a window that was unlocked. And I'm the only one in the house. And furthermore, the person that we're trying to arrest is wanted in a homicide investigation. And so I remember walking in. I'm like, and I'm streaming with my camera on my phone. And the first thing I see is like I see someone face down on the floor of the hallway. I'm thinking, oh crap, I just found a dead body. And I walk up to him and I see it's a male. And I said, let me see your hands, whatnot. And he starts moving. I was like, oh crap, he's on the ground because he knew we were coming in, and because we've been screaming outside the whole time. And so I went ahead and put him in cuffs. I'm looking for a female, and I said, hey, I'm detaining you for your safety and for mine. It's so we can detain in certain situations, which is not an arrest, but we can if we are concerned about you getting in the way of arrest or interfering, we can detain you. And so I detained him, and I ended up letting everyone in. We're searching through the house for like 20 to 30 minutes. We can't find this chick. We know she's in here. We see her shoes. There's 2 sets of to-go food out there, the whole 9 yards. And finally, I'm downstairs. And I'm just kind of looking around, like I'm noticing that this old house has been remodeled somewhat downstairs. They put up some false walls for drywall. Like, I wonder if there's enough space behind this wall. And so, sure enough, I'm looking around for a vent, whatnot, and I see a toilet that's not attached to the ground. That's been moved up in front of this vent. So I'm like, surely not. And this vent's like, this big, but we're only looking for like a 100-pound girl. And so I moved the toilet out of the way, and I could see there's like this much space in between the wall and the drywall there. And I stick my head in there, and I see a butt like up in the rafters. Like, not only was she behind the wall, but she like tried to sneak up in the rafters. And at that point, I'm like, Corey, I have contact. And so Corey comes running down with another guy, and they start immediately kicking out the wall. And and we're concerned because we did know that at one point she did have a firearm, and but yeah, got her in custody and got the heck out of Dodge. But that was a pretty memorable arrest because we had, we literally had to pull a girl through a wall. I had to search for somebody. I had to force entry into the home. I mean, it was just kind of the trifecta of all the things that make for a crazy arrest. But then again, we've had some other crazy crap that's happened on stream, so it's kind of hard. It's hard to say. We tried to tally the other day how many people have arrested on stream, and we're getting close to it's got to be somewhere between 60 and 100, 70 and 100 maybe. So we're getting up there.
You got to have like a party when you hit 100.
Yeah, we'd have to sit and count because
ice cream.
It's
ice cream party. You get an ice cream party. That could be fun. I would go.
Yeah,
I'd be invited.
Ice cream party. I could do that.
Hell yeah, dude. Man, so you're a good storyteller. That was captivating. There was ups, there's downs.
That was pretty nutty.
I'm very excited right now. So, do you mind if we try to play a game show with that being the theme? Are you ready for this?
Sure.
This is going to be. I think you might like this. So we're going to cut to a quick break, really quickly, just so I can set it up. Hold on. I gotta get my game show music going. Live, and we are in the game show room here with StephenFRA. All right, we've got a number of people clapping here. They're all very excited to see you. Mariah Carey even came out. Go. And so, Stephen, we're gonna play a game where we're gonna go through. And then we're gonna list a couple of different. We're gonna list a crime here. So I'll say a crime, and then I would like you to come up with a code name that you would give to the perp who committed the crime. Okay?
All right.
All right. So, does this sound like something you can do? I mean, you come up with such good code names.
Well, now honestly, I very rarely come up with code names. It's always chat.
It's always chat. Well, see, okay. Well, I'll let you. How about chat can help you? So chat, you're allowed to help, and Stephen will try to maybe pick the best name or come up with his own name. So if chat, if you guys, this is a game for chat too, guys. If you want to come up with names, help Stephen come up with some names. He's gonna go through and he can pick his favorite name from you guys. Okay. All right. So this one, the first one is a story. It's a man. He happened to. He was running through a store, and he had accidentally pooped his pants, and so he was running through the store, and he, in an attempt to try to warn the people that he had just pooped himself, he touched a teenage girl inappropriately, and it was a weird situation. And so, what would you call this perpetrator?
Oh my goodness, this is a very specific story. Is this something that's happened to you?
No, this happened though. Also, this did happen.
Oh, this is a real story.
Well, part of it, yes, most of it.
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. We just read the guy named Turd last night.
Turd.
So that's kind of on my open mind. How about turd smear?
Turd smear, all right.
I think that sounds appropriate.
Turd smear, excellent. All right, so first perp, turd smear. You nailed him. You got him. You just made it $2 million. All right, naked man falls through ceiling and destroys a valuable collection of antiques that his mom had been collecting. And the place that he falls into is actually where the cops were located. So not only did he fall into and destroy a lot of different valuables, he's also fallen right into the hands of the people that were looking to him and was naked.
So he was already running from the cops?
Oh yeah, they were after him.
Okay, and then he fell through a roof and broke a bunch of antiques?
Yes.
And he was naked?
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff there. What kind of antiques do we know?
I think it was like some kind of teapots.
Teapots.
Crystalware teapots.
Wow. That is what. This is also a.
Most of these are true.
Wow, that is crazy. That big for a good story. Belly flop. Oh, I'm not gonna say that, cat. Family jewel bandit. Oh my goodness. Bull in a china shop. That's a good one, but unfortunately, it's still too many syllables. Like, when I'm referring to this guy, it's got to roll off the tongue a little bit. Streaking steeper. That's pretty good stuff. I like that. Streaking steeper.
I like that.
He's steeping
yes.
the roof onto potentially a teapot while streaking. That's kind of covering all the bases there.
He could have even teabagged a pot or a cop as he was falling because he was naked. It could have.
There you go.
It could have happened. You never know. So a man. That's a great. All right, streaking steeper. Excellent name. Excellent. All right, so you ready for the next one? Man stabbed in the butt on a subway. Square in the butt. It was in a cheek, not in the hole.
All right, so we're codenaming the guy that did the stabbing.
Yes.
Wow. That's a. Do we know why he got stabbed in the butt?
We have no idea. The altercation happened. It's in New York. We don't know. They don't tell you things.
On a subway.
Yep. It was on a subway. Not in a subway, on a subway.
Wow. Golly. Stabbed in the butt. Man, that's a lot of muscle down there. Gum.
Not gonna heal, you know. That's.
Booty poker college. Oh my goodness. Booty poker. All right, I'm trying to think of something a little more clever.
Booty poker's pretty good.
Yeah. No. Do you know what kind of knife it was?
I mean, I'd venture to guess that it's probably a Bowie knife, just because that's what I would envision.
Yeah, that's what you used it.
I mean, yeah.
Poker is pretty. I mean, it's pretty specific. You know, butt poker. But we did get poked, got stabbed. But I don't want to call him butt stab either. I mean, I guess you could call him that.
Butt stab?
That's a two-syllable word. It's pretty straight to the point. You know, rolls off the tongue.
Butt stab. I like it. All right, butt stab. All right, we got butt stab. All right, our next one. There's a man, and this is one of those Florida man ones. Florida man throws a live alligator through a drive-through window.
What? Wow.
It was live, so he just tossed it right in. You know, he's like, "Can I take your order?" And then he said, "Sure." French fries. Came on over. He paid at the first window. Went to the second one. Live alligator right on in there.
Wow. Do we know why?
I'm gonna venture to guess that the manager that worked there had been sleeping with his girlfriend.
Okay.
And so he was upset.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like Crocodile Dundee here, but let me.
Yeah, I like that.
Gator tots. I like that. Gator tots.
Gator tots.
Gator tots. I like that. Aquarium's aquarium. That's a good one. I like that one. The gator tots. I like the two-syllable words.
That's good. So you want gator tots? That's your answer?
Gator tots it is.
That's a good one. That's a great answer.
You also say gator tots too, I think, you know.
Yeah. And it makes me hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I hear that, I'm like, yes, please.
I should try making some.
Ooh.
Some gator tots.
Yeah, fry those up. I hear gator tastes a lot like chicken.
Yeah, it does. It does.
That makes me happy. I like chicken. I've also eaten bull testicles. Have you ever eaten those?
No. Mm-hmm. Holy smokes. When'd you eat those?
As a boy, my uncle told me that Rocky Mountain, we were in Colorado. He said Rocky Mountain oysters are Colorado delicacy. They're oysters, but they're fried. And I said, oh, that sounds good. So I got an order and I chewed them up and I ate them. And they didn't taste like oysters. They tasted sort of like chicken, but not at all. It was a bit of I would describe it as an unctuous taste.
Unctuous?
Yes, unctuous is the word I would describe.
What does unctuous mean?
I don't know, but I can feel it when I say it. It was weird.
You know, I don't know if this is true. This is what my uncle used to tell me about it because he grew up on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
He said that in the mornings, sometimes they'd have those for breakfast, right? And so they would literally, they would send him out with the frying pan. Mom would send him with the frying pan and a carpenter's knife, and literally put the pan underneath the hog, snip, snip, drop in the pan, and go fry him right up.
Okay, and he ate those like often?
Yeah. He ate them.
Good.
I never ate them. I didn't eat them. Let me be clear. I've never had Rocky Mountain oysters, and I do not have any plans to ever.
What if they made your beard grow better? Like even better, because it's a great beard.
I think my beard's good enough. That's what I was
No, thank you, sir. Well, you know, I'll try anything once. All right. So a man poisoned 5 children and cut off his own genitals. Speaking of balls.
Wow.
That really happened.
That's crazy.
I don't know why or what he poisoned them with, though.
Yeah.
Let's say Tide Pods.
Tide Pods. Good grief.
Tide Pod Terry. No, I'm just kidding. That wasn't it.
mean, I think the word unit comes to mind.
Okay.
Play with that maybe a little bit. It's
The useless eunuch.
yeah. Candy toting eunuch. Good grief. How about? I don't know. I'm thinking of something like killer eunuch.
Killer eunuch.
Yeah, I think killer eunuch would be appropriate.
Killer eunuch. Naked peeping Tom wears Reagan mask and is caught on camera. So he's outside of a house, like one of those like glass windows, and he was peeking into people's houses, but he was naked, and he was all he was wearing was a Ronald Reagan mask.
Ronald Reagan mask. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's just dumb.
I mean, that's a real one.
Huh?
That's real.
That's a real one?
Yes.
Wow.
These are real. At least they're from the internet. And that I didn't. Well, I thought of some. Don't worry about it.
Pinky President Jelly Bean.
Pinky President.
What? Pinky Presidential package. Wow. That's a lot of syllables, but that's a good one. Presidential package. I go with 2 hands deep on that one.
I like that.
Presidential package. Wow.
All right, next one. Water company employees try to blow up his coworkers at the retirement party. So this is his retirement party, and he is plotted to blow up his coworkers, and you have found out beforehand. So you're gonna go break up the explosion. What's his name?
Whole retirement party, he's gonna blow up all his water department employees.
Yep.
Coworkers.
Yeah, they've all been invited. They're all gonna get cake, maybe some champagne. Let's sit back, have a good old time.
Yeah. Let's call him. That last blow. Party. How about, well, Lucha, I read yours. The first thing that came out was like party soaker, but I don't know. That might be misconstrued for something else. I don't know. Water balloon bomber. There we go. I was thinking about water balloon bomber. Water or something along those lines. Let's go with water balloon bomber.
All right. So this will exist in perpetuity as a document. You know, in case you ever wonder.
Oh boy.
All right. So here's the final story. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Here. So there was a man, and he tried to rob a bookmaker in Glasgow, and he had a cucumber, and so he ran into this bookmaker with a cucumber, and he was tackled to the ground by an off-duty police officer. This man brandished his vegetable and beat the off-duty police officer with it, and then was pinned down by the officer subsequently after the man with the cucumber was demanding cash and trying to smack with this cucumber as hard as possible to get the police officer off of him. The police officer, so after arresting him, was then told by the man that was smacking with the cucumber that it was all a joke, and then was surprised to find out that he was going to jail.
Wow.
What would you call this man? Because this guy just got released from jail and now he's out on bail. So what would you call him? He's just broken his bond and now he's beaten somebody with another cucumber. What would you call him?
Wow. That is one heck of a story.
All of that is legitimately from the BBC.
That was off BBC News?
Yes.
Are you kidding? Wow, I gotta find this. I have to go read some of these.
Most ridiculous arrests. Like there are
no
lists of them.
The vegan bomber.
Just smacking people with cucumbers left and right. It's out of, so I mean, there's been a number of crazy arrests, and it sounds like you're in store for probably some more wild times. Like, I mean, you know, after having done, you know, pulled a lady straight out of an event, venture to guess you kind of have some more in store.
Oh yeah, we just had a crazy one. Was it yesterday or was it day before last? Where it just got, it was probably one of the higher profile cases we've had on stream, and yeah, ended up catfishing him. Like first day we worked on it. You know, Corey, who's Oceansgiant there in chat, he and Miss Secret both talked to him, and before you know it, he's sending us his address, and we're going to go pick him up. And we arrested him right in the middle of the street, and yeah, that was crazy. I mean, and what's actually scary is it was, and the guy explained this to me in the jail. It's like he had a taser on him, and he's like, his plan was to take advantage of this girl and steal her stuff. And I'm assuming to incapacitate her with the taser, which that's so glad we got him off the streets.
What a dick!
Pretty creepy. Yeah. He'll be in prison for about a year or two at least.
Good.
So, but yeah, that was, we've had a lot of crazy stuff happen on stream. It's not one thing, it's another. Can't make this stuff up.
No, I mean, real life is better than fiction, I think, in a lot of ways. That's why I think it's like unbelievable. You know, real life can be unbelievable.
You would think it's scripted. So
some people do. Some people do. The conspiracy theorists. So now I'd like to give chat the opportunity, since they're so helpful with the game, to ask you questions. If they have any burning questions for you, or something that they'd like to ask. You know, unless of course you're opposed to that because you don't like chat and you don't want to talk to them. You know, I knew you would. I know you're a hero of the chat. You talk to the chat frequently. You're one of like the streamers that really tries to make a point, it seems, to recognize the chat and talk to them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's important. I mean, again, it's not if I, you know, it's just for my benefits for chats for me to gauge them. Because you know, that's part of the draw for me to stream is to be engaged on some social level with my viewers. So. Absolutely. I know. Is there a hunt tonight? No. I'm not sure when the next hunt is. I need to talk to Corey. I'll discuss that with Corey tonight, and we'll tweet it out as usual. Corey's asked, favorite trolling moment with Corey. Wow. I mean, I will say a pretty memorable troll was probably Starbuck, Corey, just because Starbuck, she, you know, bless her heart, was a pill popper. And she's the one also asked if there's Wi-Fi in jail. But I remember that being a pretty funny trolling moment because, you know, Corey will play some pretty weird, creepy music or funny music on the way to the jail at times. But yeah, Starbuck and both Starbuck and Atomic Blonde are both pretty good.
Did he play Ocean Man? Is that what he did?
Oh yeah, he usually plays the Ocean's Man, but he doesn't play the original Ocean's Man. He plays as the Ocean Man with the kids singing all out of tune and crap.
Oh, nice.
You know, that Ocean Man, that's the one he plays, you know, most of the time.
He's a memer and a dreamer, that Corey.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
he was interviewed. Look at right there. He's next to you, right in this little scene here. It's you and then him, and your face will be there forever, Stephen. You're a permanent part of the stream now.
Sounds good.
Right there, buddy. All right, sorry for interrupting. Go ahead, chat.
See, Corey is asking, I have a question for Steven. Say Dog the Bounty Hunter comes to KC and asks you and Corey for your help. Would you help on a hunt or a series of hunts? I wouldn't be opposed. I think that'd be make for some good content, and sure. If you had one of your doors kicked in, would it be the front door or back door? That's a good question. I'd say come in the front because you know, that's the furthest away from where I'm usually at in the house, so I can give me more time to grab my gun. What's your view of dwarf tossing? View of dwarf tossing. Something you should have the right to do if you desire to participate. Yeah, if you're a dwarf and you want to be tossed, you should have the right to decide to be tossed. And the government, I don't think, should have any say whether or not you want to be tossed or not. I personally wouldn't ever allow myself to be tossed or toss a dwarf, but I think everyone else should have the right to do
Wait. What if you had a girlfriend that was a dwarf and she would beg you to toss her? Like it was her thing. And you tossed her and it was like into a trampoline, so she's fine. Like she'd bounce off, she'd be fine.
I'd probably toss her.
See?
So there are exceptions.
Don't say never.
I I should never say never.
You never know.
Yeah, bad on my part. What is your favorite old meme? I don't know. I don't know.
Somebody touching my spaghetti.
I never, I'm not honestly, I'm not overly, it's not like I went when I was younger and looked at memes for a lot. Like the only time, like I didn't really start getting exposed to memes until Twitch. So I'm very, 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 very weak on my memology. So
there's a channel called,
favorite old ones.
It's like Memology 101. You check that out. It's a YouTube channel, I think. Maybe. I don't know.
Favorite range day gun? Probably my Glock 17 with all the Zev peripherals. So
that's the gun. Is that the gun you'd suggest like a beginner buy? Like what if I was gonna go buy a gun? What should I buy?
Well, I mean, it depends what you're gonna do.
Just fun to shoot, like target practice.
I definitely would say, you're a taller guy, you got big hands.
I do.
17 would be a good gun to go with. It's
okay.
A cheap gun, and it's a big gun, so you can get your hands on it real well, and it shoots 9mm, so it's cheap ammo.
So you wouldn't say go 22, you'd say go 9mm?
What's that?
You'd say go 9mm over 22?
I mean, again, it depends what I'm doing with it. I mean, I would never carry 22. But I definitely love having a 22 and plinking around with the range. Like, so if you just wanted to have a range gun that was really super cheap, but plinking around with it, yeah, absolutely go for the 22.
But you're not going to kill anyone with it.
Well, actually, I don't know if this is still true, but at 1.9 time, more people were killed with the 22 caliber in the United States than the other caliber.
What?
Yeah, no, that's actually true. That being said, yeah, no stopping power of 22. One thing about the 22 is generally when it goes into flesh, it tends to bounce around and also break into a lot of different pieces. And so most people die from, a lot of people die from bleeding, but internal bleeding specifically, when they get shot with 22, because it's trying to track all the different directions that little 22 round blew up into inside someone's body. So,
oh my.
Yeah.
I did not realize this.
Yeah. Can you recommend a flamethrower? What's that? I think that one that Tesla came out with is pretty darn good, although it's not a flamethrower. You guys seen that?
Not a flamethrower.
Yeah, not a flamethrower. They had to call it something else, but yeah, they're actually selling, like the Boring Company came out with some kind of legit flamethrower, but they had to call it something else for insurance purposes. It's pretty crazy.
Not an AK, not a flamethrower. Wait, Steven! Holy shit! Sorry. Oh, I said the S word. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
All right, hold on. Steven, look, all right, so on chat, if you look, this is my grandfather gave this, and it's U.S. Here. See, look, it's bullets.
Oh, sweet.
It's U.S. Army and Constitutional Army bullets, and
wow.
They're 58 caliber mini ball, 58 caliber Gardners, 54 caliber Sharps, 69 caliber musket. Then a 58 caliber Williams cleaner, 52 caliber Spencer, 54 caliber, and a 44 caliber Colt pistol.
Wow.
How about that, Steven?
That's pretty cool. Would not want to be hit with one of those suckers. The FPS on those rounds were so freaking slow. When you got hit with something like that was that big, although they have a lot of range, holy crap! You talk about stopping power. It would knock you on your rear.
Really? So those things are those are big bullets.
Those are big slow bullets is what those are.
Big boy bullets. That's what I got on my wall. That's a show of power when people come into my office. They go, damn, that guy's serious.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're kidding. It's pretty cool.
Shit with Shiznit. Oh, Shiznit. Okay. Learning to speak like Steven. Wait, yeah, can you teach me to speak like you? What do you say, frick? Shiznit?
Frick, frack, shiznit, son of a biscuit.
Okay. Frick, frack, shiznit, son of a biscuit. Pikashi, that sounds like a song to me. Sounds like you make a meme song for StephenFRA.
Yeah.
Frick, frack, frisket, give me your mom biscuit.
Yeah, frick, frack, shiznit, son of a biscuit. Those are the most common words I probably use.
Oh man. That is something else. Holy shit. Dude, you could be a rapper. All right, so wait, what else? What else you got for me? What other words, though? You don't say anything else? You don't say, like...
I don't know, Chad. You got to help me out.
You say damn?
A biscuit.
You say damn it?
What would I say?
Damn it? You say damn it?
No, dag-nabbit.
Dag-nabbit.
Dadgum.
Okay,
Dag-nabbit, dadgum. Good grief. Every once in a while, you say suffering succotash.
Suffering succotash. Fudge monkey.
Yeah, fudge a monkey. There you go. Fudge.
That's a good one.
Yeah, gotta say fudge. Jiminy Christmas. Yes, that's good gravy. I haven't said good gravy that much, but that is a good one.
Would you be willing to put a new term in your rotation for me?
Yeah, I'm always looking for new ones.
All right. This is mine from you. 21 skadoosh.
Skadoosh?
Yes, skadoosh. You can use it for any number of reasons. You can usually use it when you're excited. I'll scream 21 skadoosh. And I'm telling you right now, Stephen, it's a visceral word.
Awesome.
Skadoosh!
I'm adding it to the approved curse words. Approved StephenFRA curse words dictionary.
Instead of saying douche, you could say skadoosh.
Okay, there you go.
You're being such a skadoosh. Don't be a skadoosh bag. What?
Can you use it as a derogatory term?
I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to get banned.
No, I mean, a douche, you call him a skadoosh.
Right? Yeah, you could call someone a skadoosh.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Don't be such a skadoosh bag, Corey.
Yeah.
See?
There we go.
That was a good one. Yeah. You didn't even see that one coming. You thought to yourself, I'm going to come in here, ask a few questions. Not going to get much out of this. You just came out with a new term.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it.
So if there's any one thing that, you'd like to tell Chet, because I promised you that you could, that we would be done by 8:30, and I think that's a nice promise to keep to you, unless I don't want to. I think it's important to keep the people wanting. If you'd ever want to come back for part 2 or something like that in the far future, whatever,
Absolutely.
you're always welcome. But I would like to, is there anything else that you feel like you would like to say to kind of as a prevailing message that you would like to kind of give to the people? Like, what's your message?
What's my message? Man, that's what is my message? Well, I mean, like anything, I guess just what I hope the message of the stream to be more and more of, because there's a lot of IRL activity, if you will, that I would like to stream, and not even necessarily IRL activity or activity that I are accustomed to, but even as I go out and learn new things and do new things, is to not be held back. I think it is really easy. I mean, I watch a lot of Twitch too. It's really easy to sit at your computer and watch people living life, and it's a great thing, and I think it's an awesome thing. But at the same time, I don't think Twitch should ever be. Twitch is an awesome supplement to living life, and like anything, too much of any good thing's a bad thing, and so I would hope watching people stream, especially the IRL type content, is use it as a means of motivating you and giving you new ideas of things that you can want to do yourself, and go and do it, go and live it, and go and experience it, and and come to Twitch to get ideas of other things to do, and as opposed to supplementing your own experiences for watching somebody else do it. So that's what I would say.
Ponder on that for a second, man. Do it yourself.
Yeah, that's what I hope to encourage people to do, because it's like I don't want people to live through me. I want people to have their own experiences and encourage people to do that. And I think it's just, so one of the things I love to hear about is love other people, saying, hey, I actually did this. I went and tried this, and those are some of my favorite messages to hear. It's like, hey, that's what I want. I don't want people to live vicariously through me. I want them to live themselves. And if I can be a means of kind of, taking that first step for them and kind of exposing them to different things, that's what I want to be. And, as a hope, in hopes of, just again, getting people to, kick them in the butt and say, go and do it. Just do it. Do or die. Well, whatever it takes to, get them out the door.
Oh shit, I just broke the arm off. Damn it. This is a very expensive mannequin. I was going to try to give you a high five, but I broke the arm. Well, I mean, Hold on, I can still kind of. Hold on, let me try to get a close up.
There we go.
Crap. Yeah, hold on. Can you reach your arm out, Stephen?
Can I reach out this way?
The other one. Yeah, the other one.
This hand. This hand.
That. Okay, and then hold on.
Oh, on the screen?
No, you're good. I got it.
Okay, my hands up. There it is.
There we go. All right, got it. High five, Stephen. Thanks, man. This is a wonderful interview. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for taking the time to hang out.
No, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it, and it's always good to hang out with the streamers and all that kind of good stuff. So,
well, you'll be on our wall of infamy, and I'll make sure to. One of the things that I hope to do, hopefully, I haven't actually told you this. So we have a number of really fun interviews lined up. A couple of other people that I really respect, and I'm hoping to get more, streamers that I watch on the show. And my hope is that I can even serve as a conduit. You had mentioned, connecting different people and that kind of thing. I think it's great to connect different streamers so they can get to know each other and not feel alone, as you had kind of described, because it is an isolating feeling. And my hope is that, over time we can kind of maybe build the group of people that have been interviewed here and try to kind of connect you guys too, and
absolutely
find new people to meet. It's fun to make friends.
Yeah, no, absolutely looking forward to it. And it makes things like Twitchcon like 10 times more awesome too, to be able to meet people in person after engage with them on Twitch. So absolutely interested, and keep me posted, and looking forward to being here again.
We'll have a beer someday. Well, we'll have a protein shake.
A protein shake.
A protein. That could be fun, Well, thank you, Stephen, and see you. Goodbye, chat. I'll be back with you. I'm gonna let Stephen go, and probably, I imagine. What are you doing tonight, Stephen? Are you gonna go to bed?
I gotta go see a girlfriend for a minute. She wants to watch an episode of This Is Us, so
have fun.
Watch that.
Netflix and chill, Stephen.
Yeah, just This Is Us.
You got it, buddy. You go get him. All right, chat.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Right. That's easy.